The shiur is dedicated in memory of Rachaleya Bas Reb Chaim Tzvi. May her neshama have an aliyah. We're up to page 106 in the Mitzuda edition of the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, Siman Tes Zayin. Continuing in the daily prayer service, having concluded the Psukei de Zimra, we've finished Yishtabach, we finished Kaddish, we finished Baruch Hu. We now begin with the brachos that are associated with Shema, Kriya Shema U'Virach Seha. Rashi on Maseches Brachos comments, citing a passage from the Jerusalem Talmud, that when the rabbis were considering coming up with appropriate brachos for the Shema, so they decided specifically that between the evening and the morning Shema, there would be a grand total of 7 brachas, of 7 blessings, based on the pasuk in Tehillim Kapitel Kuf Yutes, Sheva Bayam Hilal Ticha. As the David HaMelech makes reference to 7 praises of Hashem. Therefore, in the Chachamim, when our rabbis had to come up with a particular framework in which to establish the Shema, so they came up with a grand total of 7 brachos, which 3 of them recited in conjunction with the morning Shema, 4 in conjunction with the evening Shema. Begins the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch Sif Aleph, paragraph number 1. Kriya Shema v'shalosh berachos seha. The Shema in the morning and her 3 associated brachos, which are Yotzer Or, Avarabba, and Emes V'Yatziv, and so too V'chein B'mayrav, and so too the evening Shema. The same laws that we're going to learn would apply as well. Heim Chamurim Yoser Mipsukei de Zimra. That's the Shema and its associated brachos are considered to be more stringent, more serious, more severe than the Psukei de Zimra, than the portion of the davening between Baruch Shomer and Yishtabach, with respect to the prohibition against being mafsik, against interrupting. Ve'im nachlakim lifrakim, the dinim, the laws that govern interrupting, are going to be very much dependent upon where exactly in the Shema one is up to. Is one in the middle of a bracha, in the middle of a paragraph, or is one between paragraphs? What exactly is the definition of middle of paragraphs versus being between paragraphs? So says the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, Ve'elu hein ben haprakim, citing the Mishnah, what is the definition of a paragraph with respect to the blessings of Shema? So between paragraphs is considered to be between Yotzer, Ma'aras, and Avarabba, between Habocher, Bama Yisrael, Ba'ava, and Shema, between Uvish Arecha, the end of the first section of the Shema V'Yahavta and V'Hayim Shamoa, and finally between V'Hayim Shamoa and V'Yomer. Now it's important to note that even though the Sidurim that we commonly use have the brachas of Shema printed in such a way that one sometimes doesn't realize it's all one bracha. The truth is that the 2 blessings before Shema go as follows. The first one begins with Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam Yotzer Or V'Arecho Shechaseh Shalom V'Eretz Hakol, and concludes a couple pages later with Baruch Atah Hashem Yotzer Hamaros. And even though you have a bunch of paragraphs and Kadosh and Baruch Hashem Imkama in between, it's all part of a single blessing. You don't get that sense, but in actuality, it's a bracha arucha, long extended bracha with a psicha beginning with Baruch Atah Hashem, and the chasima concluded with Baruch Atah Hashem Yotzer HaMe'oros. The next bracha begins Avarabba, or according to the Nosach Sfard, many recite Avas Olam, but even in the morning. The bracha begins without an opening because it piggybacks on the previous bracha. In as much as the bracha comes on the heels of the Yotzer HaMe'oros, it's not necessary to have its own opening. Rather, the bracha begins without an opening, Avarabba, Avas Olam, and concludes Habocher Bamo Yisrael Ba'ava. We then have the 3 paragraphs of the Shema, followed by the bracha after the Shema, beginning with the words Emes V'Yatziv, which we'll speak about a little later on, and concluding with Baruch Atah Hashem Goal Yisrael. It's important to know exactly what's a single bracha, what's the middle of a paragraph, what's considered to be between paragraphs, and not to just assume that if there's a break in the Siddur, that means that it must be a new paragraph. No. As the Siddurim are designed for reading, one would imagine that doesn't mean that the exact breakup is absolutely halachically correct with respect to divisions among paragraphs. Now, why is it so important to know what is in between a paragraph versus in the middle of a paragraph? So the issue is as follows. We follow the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. Who is Rabbi Yehuda? So Rabbi Yehuda is the one at the beginning of the second paragraph of Brachos